Hi, Paul Sakis, Good News Broadcast, speaking to Ken Deodato. Hi, Ken, how are you?
Great. How are you today, Paul?
Real well. Song3.com, that's the website. Ken's a real music man. And you have a great event coming up here this coming Labor Day weekend, 3-day open-air art and music festival, August 30th, 31st, September 1st. Tell us about it, Ken.
Well, it's really wonderful. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. As you know, Paul, I play around the world with Deodato, who's a legendary pioneer of jazz, rock, pop, and so many more. He started with, if I may, he started with Frank Sinatra back in the early 60s, and went on to work with folks like Bjork, Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, Katie Lang, and currently he has a song on the charts with a man named Lupe Fiasco called Paris Tokyo is the name of the song. So he's someone that's been very progressive and a pioneer of music in our culture worldwide for decades and decades. So it's really an amazing thing to be working with someone that is such an icon in the music field. And that has brought me into playing around the world with so many folks. And I also used to work with Buddy Miles, you may remember, from the Jimi Hendrix group. I worked with him closely as a road manager, drummer, and singer for many years. So from my travels around the world and my concerts and festivals around the world, with Buddy Miles, over 1,000 shows, and then working with Deodato since 2001, we usually work overseas. We are more received well in other countries rather than our own. So most of my focus in the last 15 or 20 years has been out of this country. So with the 40th anniversary of Woodstock coming, and I'm really a big fan of the Peace and Love era, then I decided that we need to find a venue to host this 40th anniversary celebration. And this is actually, Paul, sort of a prelude to Woodstock, if you will. We're sort of having a little get-together that will be a build-up to that anniversary. Although we don't want to capitalize on the Woodstock name, we just want a place where people can camp and have an experience for 3 days that's beautiful. So once I came back with Deodato and knew I had this time available, we called on some other guitar heroes and some other folk heroes, as you know, like Mr. Pete Seeger, who we're very excited about having on Monday, on Labor Day, since he is such a fan of Labor Day with his labor songs. And, of course, you know, on Monday we'll also be doing the Peace Pole ceremony with the World Peace Council there. And then also Rick Derringer, who is also very popular right now from the big, phenomenal worldwide gaming game called Guitar Hero. He's actually featured and is duplicated in the game with his name and likeness and his songs. So to bring together legends like Pete Seeger, like Deodato, like Rick Derringer, who's also popular for so many songs and has helped shape popular music, I believe, also. We also have many upcoming groups, many bands from MySpace because of the digital realm. We have all the MySpace bands. I've been researching bands now for months and months and came up with a bunch of groups, over 50 from MySpace, that are really special, featuring reggae, rock, blues, jazz, electronica, a lot of folk, a lot of earthy jam band stuff, and I just feel, Paul, this is an entire blessing, and the venue itself is just so beautiful and so picturesque, and has all the facilities we need for a wonderful time and wonderful music and wonderful peace. And if I may go on to say that every day in America there's a concert. There's some big corporation putting on a concert. There's some big arena having a show with some stars. This is a lot more than that. This is about bringing awareness to people, bringing people to a higher spiritual level, having people learn about important facts about society, about bringing awareness to, of course, the green side of things and how to save the planet, how to save the earth, which I know is something that you are also passionate about, and Phil Sowers from World Water Rescue Foundation is so in tune with, and I feel honored, and it's a huge pleasure to be working alongside you guys and have your support. And I think that we have a great team in the works here for, who knows, maybe future generations.
I love it. Okay, well, I know it's titled here, what Pete has said, Water Not Weapons, and there's a website, waternotweapons.org, and a new visual which gives somebody some thinking about our water reality and the good things and the questionable things. And, you know, we've done a whole bunch of shows on the Water Hour, along with the World Water Rescue Foundation. And Caitlin is going to sing, I believe, too. You have a peace pole that's going to be delivered on, I know, on my car.
I know. Bill's putting it on the roof. I heard all about it. 9 foot or something. That's pretty good. Well, I see you now on this website. That's, I guess, your buddy Jim. Rob, I guess. This is your new technology, right? Going out on yes, the Cameo HD. It isn't actually my technology, but I think you know, actually, that guy, Rob Perna.
Yeah, I know. It's Perna's work.
That's Perna. Yeah, I work with him with that Cameo HD, and he's been helping so much, but he'll be there at the event, actually. I think.
Oh, yeah? Rob's a great guy.
Yeah. But you're right about the Water Not Weapons. I think that's such a bold and a profound statement, and we're going to be making a banner behind the stage. This is the first annual Water Not Weapons weekend. We want to point out, if possible, we want to have every Labor Day weekend a 3-day fest. So besides that Woodstock next year 40th anniversary, we'll gear up for another 3 days 2 weeks after that, because we're going to be doing this back-to-back every Labor Day if Pete Seeger wants it that way.
Well, you know, I don't know if you notice about us here, and we're putting it together now, but actually for the 20th anniversary 20 years ago, when I started a little bit in my own company, my first 3 I was started 23 years ago, but the 20th anniversary of Woodstock, I worked very hard for 2 years to do Woodstock actually in Central Park in New York. And I
remember.
That really was a great involvement. We got public television was going to broadcast, and I just couldn't raise the money to. Henry Stern gave me a green light in the park, and I was doing it with Richie Havens and a lot of the original people, and we ended up not being able to have enough money for security and all those kinds of things, because somehow in New York you always you got to triple the costs of things.
Well, that's right, and you know, it's sort of hard, Paul, as you know, as an artist and a creator, that you know it's hard to blend art and business, and but you know it does take a lot of funds to do these events, and there's a lot of insurance and a lot of costs that people don't realize that's involved, and but we're gonna make sure that this Woodstock 40 will have the right funding and the right sponsorship and and I think we're gonna develop a beautiful team, and I found out that the weather looks good for this weekend, so God's blessing us with that. So we have a lot of things to look forward to this week, and again, I'm so happy you're part of it.
Yeah, we're happy to be part of it as well. Actually, that Buddy Miles is on our 20th anniversary show. We have the video. We're putting it together now. We're going to put it out for next year as well.
Oh, great!
Because it was it was a special moment too. A lunar eclipse was happening the same time. We ended up doing something in Times Square, no less. But in any case, I'm happy, and you're calling it open air and art music festival, of which I think Woodstock was an art festival as well, right?
Right.
And so now let's get some quick details here. All right. People can get tickets through Ticketmaster. People can go camping there. They what other things? Where is it literally?
Well, it's in Stroudstown, Pennsylvania, which is really beautiful for New York City people, because what you do is you come out of the Holland Tunnel. When you go through the Holland Tunnel, you'll see a big sign, Paul, Route 78 West. You take Route 78 West the whole way right to Exit 19 in Pennsylvania, Stroudstown, Pennsylvania, and you'll pull right into the parking lot. It's right on the highway. It's right off the highway, and you'll see a big billboard there, and you just can't miss it if you get off at Exit 19. If you left the Holland Tunnel, drove on Route 78 to Exit 19, you cannot miss it.
Okay, how long about is it from, say, New York?
It's 108 miles from the Holland Tunnel.
Okay, very good. Are there any public transportation goes down that way?
There is. There's plenty of public transportation, actually, that goes to Allentown, which isn't too far, and then they have just buses to Strausstown.
Okay, the municipal kinds of buses.
That's correct.
Okay, good. All right, well, the site, is this the right site, song3.com?
That is correct, Paul.
All righty, good. Congratulations, you're doing great things, and you're a great guy to begin with, to boot.
Well, I think it's just, a combination of the great people I hang around with, and, if I'm a spokesperson for them, and I just think this is all a big blessing, and I can't wait to see you there.
Well, we're very excited. I'm going to throw one more comment out there about Rob Perna, because without Rob Perna, Good News would not be around, because he's been a real kind supporter and sponsor of Good News. I don't know if you really know to that degree.
Yes.
He really helped us in continuing when we needed help to continue on with Good News and to broadcast. Rob Perna and his organization, they were there. So it's those kinds of kindnesses that make life such a beautiful thing.
No, he's brilliant and kind, and that's the kind of people we want to be with, is kind people. And I think that we're gonna find ourselves with a venue that we can make a lot of awareness and bring a lot of notoriety to good things. And the last thing I will say, there will also be a voting registration booth there, so people can register to vote. I don't want to say who to vote for, but I want to make sure that people do get out and get the vote. And there'll be people walking around. If you want to register, it's a great place to do so.
And let me lastly also say there's going to be this peace pole that's going to be down there, which is a very famous icon worldwide for peace. And with Pete and Caitlin and Phil and all of you guys, right? Deodato has something to do with that song, the Space Odyssey, right?
He does, and also he's very good friends with Yuka, who is the head of the organization. Mm-hmm. We actually performed there up in Armenia, New York, at the World Peace Council up in 2004. It was. We did a beautiful concert there and a beautiful ceremony. So he's an old friend of Yuka, who is the curator of the organization.
Right. Well, if you just go look under Kenn Deodato, you'll see some of the great music. This man, I mean, he's made a lot of movies, right?
60 movies. 500
Give an example of some of the stuff he's been involved with.
Well, he wrote all of the Kool and the Gang songs that are popular, like Ladies' Night and Celebration, and a lot of those. He wrote a lot of popular Earth, Wind, and Fire songs.
Right.
He wrote. He helped arrange and conduct on First Time Ever I Saw Her Face, Roberta Flack. Again, things like Girl from Ipanema back in the early '60s. He's really known for the first million-seller artist to come out of Brazil. Mm-hmm. That was his first feat. But ever since then, everything he touches, he has like the Midas touch when it comes to hit making. He's such a genius with orchestration, with conducting, with producing, and with composing. It's really beyond an honor to even get to meet him, no less work alongside him.
There you go. And Derringer, he's got a ton of them, and our good friend...
And Rick Derringer is he's the humble hero that has shaped Steely Dan, Cyndi Lauper, just so many, 25 of his own solo albums, Johnny Winter, Edgar Winter. He's produced for the best of the best, and he's one of the nicest men I've ever met. All of these guys I call them humble heroes.
There you go.
Seeger, Deodato, Rick Derringer. They're all about helping people, helping the world, and first, before they help themselves. And that's why I think, although they play different genres of music, the greatest thing is that they all have the gigantic hearts, and I think that the combination of these types of people together is their strength in numbers, and when you have good, there's strength in good, and I think that we're bringing a magnificent group of artists and talent for a great cause.
It's a great idea. The last, but Pete Seeger's on our website. We've been trying. We want to get help to make him get a Nobel Peace Prize. And I just interviewed it. This is the typical when you're talking about humble heroes. I interviewed he was here in Damrosch Park at Lincoln Center on Sunday or wherever it was, and I interviewed his grandson. Now, and I said we were, on Good News on our front page. We've been working on. He goes, "Nah, Pete doesn't want that." And he said, "It's just the way these guys are. That's it. They're not looking for awards. They're looking for they're doers."
Exactly.
Let's make something good happen.
Exactly. And that, and I feel really blessed hanging around. I mean, I can't believe I'm always in awe and never take for a second for granted who I'm dealing with. Rick Derringer, Deodato, and Pete Seeger. I mean, I am, in awe of these guys, and I believe that, it's like a gift from God to be able to do all of this. So I thank God for this interview and for this event.
Great. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Well, have a beautiful day, okay?
All right, you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.